All right, I am here with Mark Gus Scott from Trickster. How are you today, Mark?
Richie Booby, it's a beautiful day.
That's
Come
good.
on.
Well, you're.
Arizona.
I was.
Let's talk about a beautiful day for a second.
Go ahead.
I used to be Northeast for the
Uh,
past just shy of 2 years now, Phoenix, Arizona. Let's talk about beautiful, babe. I mean,
I
oh my God,
I envy you.
very fortunate individual, having a lot of fun.
I envy you because.
I hear that from time to time.
Well, I tell you, obviously living my whole life in the Northeast, I'm done with snow. I'm done with cold. I can't stand it anymore. And I'd rather be in Arizona to tell you the truth, but you
Well,
know.
let me know. I'm buying first round. You can buy the second and third. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, so is Pete out there too, or is it?
Yeah,
So he's
Pete's in
there.
a neighboring town. He's like the western part of Phoenix. Yeah, he's been out here about 20 years now.
Wow.
For the past 12 years, he's been bothering me. Come on, you got to get out here. You got to. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
But
And I've been through Phoenix, and I got to tell you, I always enjoyed it,
right.
but it's really weird. It's a different kind of thing to look at to moving to a place and planting roots, as opposed to passing through, partying, and having a good time and leaving. So when I first came out here to really think about making the move, I guess it was about 4 years ago now, that three and a half, 4. I submitted to Pete's, hey, you got to check this out. I can't tell you, I really found something special. I've been to every state in the nation. And to make a move, there was a few places I considered, but I got to tell you, being in Phoenix, I am very, very happy. It really is a special place. And a lot of people don't realize what Phoenix has to offer, or Arizona, the state as a whole. When you live in, let's say, Chicago or New Jersey, you don't necessarily have a clear idea of what it's all about out here. And there truly is something very beautiful, so much culture, so much real America that people just don't have a clue. It's really beautiful, really something else.
Yeah. Now, Steve and PJ, they're still back where I
Over
am.
back in Jersey, yep.
Okay, they're
They're
still
still
here.
Jersey boys.
Well, I
They
know, I
stay.
know Steve is because he's always. I mean, he's in a million bands right now. I see him with Rubik's Cube. I see him. He's filling in for Def Leppard. He's playing with Trickster. He's doing it, which is good, But that's
Yeah,
how
God
he's
bless
always up
America.
this way.
It's a
Yeah, he's
beautiful.
always up. He's
It's a
always in
good
this area.
problem. It's a very good problem.
Yeah. Now, one thing I have to tell you, the last time I saw Trickster, and I'm ashamed to say this because it's been so long, was around the mid '90s. That's how long it's
Ouch.
been. Yeah, and you guys were on your undercovers tour,
Hmm.
and you were playing the Strand in Providence, Rhode Island, and that show for the reason I'm gonna tell you that show stuck with me all these years because that
It was
was
that
it.
bad.
No. What's strange? It was the height of the grunge revolution, and
Yeah.
the melodic rock was gone basically. You guys played the Strand, which held, and I'm not saying this to get down on you guys. The Strand held about like 800 to 1,000 people. Now, because of the grunge crap of that era, you probably had maybe 200 in there people. But you guys played like it was you were playing the Tokyo Dome. It was it's one thing that stuck with me all these years that there could have been 10 people there and you guys would have given the same performance. Steve was flying all over Pete was all over. You're going crazy with the drums, and I'm looking around, I'm like, this place is mostly empty, but these guys are giving us our money's worth, and that
You know,
stuck with me.
yeah, you're really saying something that is the essence of it's kind of funny. There's certain people, no matter what industry they do, if they believe in something a certain way, if you're making garbage bags for a living, if you're Mr. Hefty, and you do it because it's here.
Right.
So whether one guy buys your garbage bags or 1,000 guys do, you're going to make those garbage bags the same damn way.
Right.
When we do what we do, if it were illegal, we'd do it anyway. You know what I mean? So whether there's 5 people, 10 people, or 20,000 people at one of our shows, we pretty much attack it, and we do it because that's the way we love to do it.
Right.
The success and everything that we've had is a byproduct of something here, and that's I think that's something that's very true even today. It's just harder with a walker.
Well, at least you get to sit down.
Yeah, that's right.
The other guys,
No, so honestly, yeah, even when times were not the greatest for Trickster, it didn't mean we changed the way we did things. We said, oh well, there's less people, I can take it easy tonight.
Yeah.
No, that was unacceptable.
And
You know what I mean?
it's not an easy thing to do, because you go out there expecting it. You're all hyped up for the show, and there's, like, I don't want to say nobody there, but there's not as big a crowd as
Right.
you would hope. But I tell you, no word of a lie, that stuck with me all these years.
Okay, well, one thing's for sure: if there were 7 people in the place, it would have been
different. It would have been it was actually my whole band. My whole band was there that night. And actually, I think I actually gave Steve a demo tape cassette back then. At the time. But all right, so let's. One thing I noticed, in the last 10 years or so, following you guys and following you, you have gotten into like the film industry.
Yeah.
Is that you're still going?
Yeah,
strong?
there's we have a couple of things going on, and I'll give you. It's not just the film industry. The company I work for is called Global Star Productions. Yep. They've done numerous films, some small, some big. They also cross over to soundtrack work. Mm-hmm. What we're dealing with now is a franchise called The Monkey King. When I say franchise, it's like an octopus. Film is a huge staple in it, but we also do downloadable video games for cell phones. Also doing soundtracks. Also doing animated series. So. Of a franchise. I mean, if it gets big enough, there's some plans in the work to possibly do an amusement park in Tokyo, wow, in Shanghai. So it's kind of weird, but film is a huge staple of it. But particularly these days, when you take a look at, let's say, a Star Wars, or you take a look at something on that, like Transformers, that the film is one thing, but what video games are generating revenue-wise, it's and not to mention the production costs are so much cheaper as well. When you have a film, you can take those elements and incorporate in so many different things and realistically generate revenue. So we've been very fortunate in foreign markets with our property, The Monkey King. And we're really looking forward to bridging that gap. It's never been done, taking a successful property overseas and bringing it to America. They've always taken it from America first and brought it somewhere else. It was the American entrepreneur, all of us, to say, hey, rest of the world, look what we have. But now to take it from someone else, a lot of people are going, oh, no, we want it the other way. So we're breaking some new ground. It's going to be very interesting. There's something very interesting coming out at the end of towards the end of this year. Cool. Google will be coming out with a new cell phone, and the Monkey King app is preloaded on Google phones. Nice. So when that comes out, and I believe it's in September, it has some. The thing that's really amazing about it, Google has some new proprietary technology for gamers for virtual reality that's installed on the phone and exclusive to Google phones that will interact with the Monkey King app. So it's going to be really big. When you see the push on this, it's going to be pretty ridiculous.
Well, I'm glad you let the listeners know about it right now.
looking forward to September.
September, coming September. Now you did. I was looking. You did a lot of soundtrack work for that Monkey King too, right?
Yeah. Did soundtrack work for the movie as well as the video game, and that'll be as well. Funny thing, you mentioned Peter before. Peter Lauren, our singer. He actually helped me with the engineering component of all the special effects, sound special effects, and also with the soundtrack work. He's been doing a lot on the technical end. Peter's kicking some butt, and I thank God. Because
is he still
he's right down the street? Pete, I need a head. You bastard.
Is he still playing the Kemper? The Kemper amp?
Oh, I have a Kemper 45 caliber. That's
all right. We'll skip that question then.
Honestly,
he and I were going back and forth on that a while ago.
I really don't know. I know it's an amp.
But I noticed he's playing a lot of guitar lately out there.
He is, yeah. And let me tell you, what's funny? I hadn't seen him play in a while. He picked up. The son of a bitch can play.
Yeah,
he sounds really good. He's comfortable and it's smooth, feeling real good. And it's funny. He was playing with another act one night, and I said, "Who's playing guitar?" He goes, "I am." I said, "Who's the lead guitar?" He goes, "I am." I said, I started to laugh. It was so funny. Then I saw the show. I wasn't laughing. That son of a bitch was really playing great. I was so happy. It's really great to see him, even to have the desire to push forward, to do more, not just be complacent. And Peter's a prime example, again, both in the engineering world and just playing music. It's impressive. He sounds great, and I love him. Absolutely love him.
And Steve, I know Steve does a lot of the engineering and producing of the Trickster album. So
That's
the
son of a
last
gun,
few.
Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Past two albums he engineered. Uh, and yeah, I mean, even back in the shit, I'm trying to think when was the first time we actually did some recording in the studio. I think that was back in 93, 94. Yeah. Hello, he was in tune with it way back then.
Yeah.
So, and he's kept with the technology and all the updates and the way things have changed. I think when we first recorded it was on DAT.
Yep. I did too.
That's like obsolete now. And but yeah, he was on some, when it was cutting edge. He was on it. He was doing mini discs. I mean, weird, man, crazy, crazy.
Now, are there any plans for a new Trickster album anytime soon?
You never know what the future might bring.
Yeah.
Because you know what'll happen. I'll say, no, not right now. Tomorrow we get guys. We need to talk. Oh Jesus.
There we go.
So, but I mean, you know what's really strange? Ever since we put this back together, 2007, 2008. We took advantage of opportunities that came our way, and we weren't necessarily out there making waves, attempting to make these opportunities come to fruition. So it's kind of interesting. It's been a really wild ride, and particularly with the quality of what has come out. That's the greatest part of all. Playing it for us and then making it something special. Like I'll be honest. When Steve first approached me, and he said, a new record. I'm like, oh geez, I don't know. I mean, there were so many bands that came out, bands that I used to love that came out with records. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? It just doesn't sound. The material wasn't there, so I was really concerned about the material. And it had been so long since we recorded a record. But let me tell you, when Steve started playing the demos, I was like, holy crap, this sounds pretty good. And the more we went to the studio and actually laid down tracks, it was like, oh my God, it really sounds good. So, at the end of the day, I'm not saying it because it's us. I mean, I believed in the material, and I think that was the real key component. It wasn't like, well, let's just make this record and get on with it. I mean, and you could hear it in the end. Well, the quality of songs are great, production is fantastic, and we are. I personally speak for the band, truly proud of what we put out, particularly in the past two records.
Well, yeah, New Audio Machine. There's 3 tracks on that stand out to me, and obviously one is Tattoo and Misery, but the other two, which kind of surprised me because I like the heavier stuff, but the other two were Live for the Day and The Coolest Thing. Those are my 2 favorite songs on that on that album. That just it was Trickster, but it was you guys kind of almost came into like a modern take on what Trickster is on those 2, especially those 2 songs. I mean, the rest of it's all your basic, your hard rock that you guys usually do, but those 2, they sounded different from the rest of it, but they still sounded like Trickster.
Right. Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, those.
We get very similar responses, and it's I guess like a natural progression. I think a lot of bands try too hard to be something they once were, be something they're not. We just did it, and we did it the same way. Steve had the idea for a riff. That's how it typically starts, and I'll play like either like. I'm going to say a good 97% of the time is pretty damn good. Yeah. Every once in a while, I'm like, and even once in a while when I say that, we forge forward and the song comes through. I was like, you know what, that turned out pretty good. So there's no set formula, but that's just the way it naturally happens.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Kind of funny.
Well, there are a lot more, and I keep going back to those 2 songs, a lot more like layers as far as instruments go than the normal, just the guitar, the bass, the drums. Like he added a lot of really cool little acoustic things that you hear. Every time I listen to those songs, there's something else that I can hear, especially if I wear headphones, that he just put in there. That if you take them out, you would notice it, but when they're in there, you don't really pay attention to it.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
Now, as far as I think you guys, I saw you had one. Was there one date in September coming up, or are there more? For Trickster.
There will most likely be more with the summer coming upon us. I would always say keep an eye on the website. Always Google Trickster, our own personal Facebook pages, markscott.com. I mean, honestly, it's going to be out there. You're going to know about it, and Facebook's a big source for for communication. Always something there. Twitter, Trickster is always prevalent, if you will. But, one thing, it's funny, no matter what we've done in the past, and like you said earlier, as far as whether there's 10 people in the audience or a million, We playing on stage. That's our number. That's why we got into this racket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing that gives me greater satisfaction personally to beat the living crap out of the drums in a live format. You know, and that's what we live for. Sometimes I don't even enjoy the studio that much, to be honest with you. You know, but to make a great product and to sit back and say, wow, the song sounds great, but to kick it in the ass on stage, there's nothing greater in the world. And I think I said it earlier, if it were, I feel that passionately about it. I truly love to play. And I think that comes through. Like when you said this, when we're showing at a show, as far as crowd, we attack it the same way because that's what we love to do, you know. And it's not an act, but we do it for us.
Right.
And honestly, if I don't play in a certain fashion, I'm not happy with me. You know what I mean? I have certain levels for myself, and I think everybody feels the same way. If we don't perform to a certain level, then it doesn't give us satisfaction. You know what I mean? So it's kind of selfish. We're not doing it for you. We're doing it for us, you know? Oh, we love you. Yeah, shut up, get out. We want to play for us.
Turn the amp up. This isn't loud enough. We need more.
Right.
Now, what you personally, like, what do you have besides the well, I don't want to say besides the film company, because that's probably taking up a lot.
I got
of
a
time.
couple things going on right now.
Let us know.
Yeah,
let us know.
The film thing is one major thing, and again, to plug the Google phone coming out this September, preloaded with the Monkey King app. One other thing I'm working on, I really haven't let the cat out of the bag on this. I'll probably release a rough from what I've done. I also play the trumpet. And I'm looking to possibly put out a Christmas album coming out this Thanksgiving. I'm taking one of the songs and donating all the proceeds to charity. The charity will be named, but it'll most likely be military-oriented. Talking with a couple of high-level military executives now to make sure the right charity is chosen. I'd like one national charity to be the true benefit and spokesperson for the project. But I have some high aspirations, and I'm looking to put out a solo record for a Christmas album, which sounds weird, but I've been playing trumpet longer than I've been playing drums, and it's a project that I don't know how to passion for. I want to play taps at Ground Zero on 9/11, and I want to play Christmas in Rockefeller Plaza. It's a place that I grew up, and it's a special place that I've taken my kids. And they really have an affection for. And I got to tell you, like I said earlier, I've been all over this country and around the world. When it comes to Christmas time, there truly is something very special about New York City.
Yep.
I really don't think you can beat it. Like I was here at Christmas last year, and I remember walking around in Phoenix, and they have certain very expansive light shows at some of the hotels and resorts. I can't tell how beautiful. But you know what? There's something just not the same about a palm tree that's lit up as opposed to a Christmas tree. But you know, the vibe in New York, man. I mean, when you see everybody come out and looking at the tree light or going to Rockefeller Plaza or going to Bryant Park, I mean, it's like, holy cow! You know, it really is. When you think of Merry Christmas, it's like, you know, that's what it's all about.
I remember taking a trip one year to New York City. We were going to Radio City to see the Rockettes, and I just remember we took one of the buses, whatever it was, and they played Christmas Story on the bus, you know, with Ralphie and so it was every time I see that movie now, and you know, during Christmas time they play that nonstop, 24 hours a day. So that whole time I think of going to New York City, and just the lights and, you know, a light flurry coming down. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is.
That's the only time I like snow. It's the only time I like snow is that. If it snows a little bit, that's okay. But if you get a blizzard, I don't want any more.
I don't blame you, pal. No, I don't blame you one bit. I remember. I think one of the big reasons why I made the move to Phoenix, aside from the taxes, the snow, the cold. You know, it took me a good 3 years of looking myself in the mirror. I remember it was one year I'm like, man, I'm going to move to Phoenix. This is my last winter. I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I was there for one more year, and I looked at myself and said, you know, God damn it, I am done with this winter crap. And I was living in Orange County, New York. And man, it got freaking cold up there. And maybe I'm getting wimpy in my old age, but you know what? I wanted to live kind of like I'm on vacation.
Right.
And particularly these days, there's areas particularly in Phoenix, that capitalize on that sort of thing, that it's cheaper to live that fashion and in greater luxuriousness. So, I don't understand. I think people need to take a look at some different areas, but man, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it out here. And it truly is something special. And the taxes are a lot lower. Did I mention?
Yeah, I'm all for that too. Yeah, I mean, I have 2 younger kids, and like I can't just uproot them. So
How old are your kids?
14 and 11.
Uh-huh.
So maybe, down the line when they go to college, I can head,
well,
head
see,
down
I didn't
south.
get moved when I first went to college. That that was part of it also.
Yeah.
But I have a daughter, Cassandra. She's 20, just shy of 21, which is going to be crazy. Buying her first drink. My son Brandon's just about to turn 17, and I have a daughter, Lauren, that just turned 15.
Yeah.
So they're getting up there.
Yeah, it goes fast. Now, are you still doing? I don't know if you're still doing. Still doing drum lessons?
No,
not anymore. I'm trying to remember if it was.
I really enjoy it. On occasion, there's somebody that pops up, but it's hard for me to be consistent with it.
Right.
It's really even funny. I've been giving more trumpet lessons of all things. And honestly, I think I'm doing it somewhat for selfish reasons too. It gives me the opportunity to play, and I enjoy teaching. And kids are fantastic. I don't know. It's something I've always found really satisfying. Really, I don't know, to pass on knowledge and to see the kids actually advance. That's really cool. You know what I mean? And I had some special teachers that helped me when I was younger, whether it was trumpet, drums, piano. And I see it from the different perspective now, and to pass on knowledge and to do it, to develop little ones in your deadly image is pretty amazing.
Well, it's like both my girls, like one of them's a figure skater, the other one just started. She's more sports oriented, where she's playing soccer. She wants me to teach her basketball and volleyball, and I'm like, try to pick one for now, and we'll work on that, and then we'll move to the other thing. But I get involved, and I'm sure you do what you did with your kids. I get involved at, like, my daughter's figure. She skates on a theater on ice team, which basically they do a play on ice, and we just came back from Michigan. They were one of probably the 8th best team in the world. It was international.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
They're really good, and I get to go back. Last year we went to Alabama, and I hit Nashville, and first time I've ever been to Nashville, and I loved it. And now this year we're going to Indiana, but I'm flying into Nashville, staying there a little bit, and then driving up.
Good.
So I know what you mean.
Got to get some endorsements, pal. Come on, you got to get the old ball rolling.
I'm still working on endorsements for myself.
You have a Converse endorsement. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Go, Boogie. Well, I got a phone number for you.
I'm trying to get some music endorsements. I'm still working on those things, but are you
going to be in? What are you looking for? Maybe we can help.
We'll talk off air.
Small fee.
We'll talk off air about that. Are you going to be at? Do you ever go to NAMM?
Yeah, irregularly, yes. Wait. Are you talking summer NAMM or
winter
or January?
January.
January. Yes, those are the ones. I've never gone to the summer now, which actually sounds interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to make it this year. I haven't been in about 3 years now, so I think I'm due. I probably will.
You should,
go
because
to
you know why? Because I'm planning on going this year. I've never been.
Let's touch base before you go,
definitely
for sure. But all kidding aside, I ditched it the past, I think, 2 or 3 years. I'm about due.
Yeah. I'm long overdue. I've been wanting to go for 20, 25 years now, and
Oh, really? You've never been?
I've never been. Well, to go from I'm in Rhode Island, to go from Rhode Island to California. First of all,
dude, don't give me that crap. I was.
Well, that's why I'm going this year.
You jump on the plane and you go to L.A. It's not that. Come on, tickets $300 something like that round trip. You'll be fine.
Well, we're going all out. My buddy and I are gonna go. We're gonna go all out because I was just starting to look at the hotels, and it was like, to stay at those 2 main hotels at the convention center was like $600 a night. So
okay, whoa, yeah, you want to stay at like the Hilton or the Sheraton? That's something that's right there. You're gonna pay for it.
That's
Yes.
what we're gonna do.
But
I
if
said,
you
you know
take
what?
a 5-minute cab ride, it's
Yeah.
1/4 the price.
We
So
haven't we haven't decided. We haven't decided what we're gonna do, but we're gonna go. We're definitely gonna go.
Or, if you find the right young lady friend over there, it ends up being nothing. So, you got to get creative here, Rich. Talk to me.
You're
Why don't you
gonna
talk to
give me
me?
some notes after we're done here. I'm getting my paper ready. But
No, but yeah, sure. Touch base with me. The NAMM show, for the both people that don't know what we're talking about, the National Association of Music Merchants,
yes.
The NAMM show. It's the biggest show where manufacturers of musical instruments get together with their distribution outlets. People like Guitar Center, Sam Ash, and the like, your neighborhood music store, and they score deals for the year for distribution of their products throughout the country and the world. So if Pearl Drums sits down with Sam Ash Music and says, hey, you guys bought 155 drum sets from us last year. If you buy 165, we'll offer you an incentive, cheaper price. And, by the way, here's Tommy Lee. He'd like to come by and say hello. So it gives these fans an opportunity to also meet a lot of these stars at the convention. And it's one hell of a big hoopla. We have a hell of a lot of fun. We've been doing it. Shoot, my first one, I think, was January of 91. Wow. And that was wild. We were just starting to take off, and it was pretty wild. Funny thing, I met so many cats that year, that people that recognized us and came over and said hello and congratulatory. It was really, Tommy Lee came up, said, hey man, congratulations on the Scorpions tour. I was like so blown away. Cool. Someone of that stature will come over. Paul Geary from Extreme. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think how many people we actually met. It's just ridiculous. It literally is the Chamber of Commerce of rock.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm planning to.
Really wild stuff.
One of the reasons, besides I'm a guitar player and I want to go, is I just want to pass out cards for this podcast.
Do it.
Yeah,
that's place for promotion. There's a lot of good, a lot of people realize the press that you can get out of it also can be very substantial. Yeah. Please make sure you touch base with me before you go. Because when a bunch of us hang out together, it gets freaking crazy and it gets attention. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, now to wrap this up, is there any other thing that you want to promote? You want to get out there?
Second Amendment rights.
I know what I wanted to ask you, and you've probably been asked this a million times already, and I've wondered this since your first album came out, and I've never seen it listed anywhere or in a story or in an interview. I've never heard it. Gus, is that your middle name or is that a nickname?
It is a nickname. It's not my real name at all. Some guy came up. It was kind of weird. It was so long ago now. But it became this cartoon character, and I don't know what people remember back in the day. On Saturday mornings there was these little cartoons called Dr. Henry's Emergency Lessons for People, and it was the kind of thing: if you fell and broke your toe, here's what you do: you have to take this, and in 2 minutes the cartoon was over. It's like, hey, thanks, Dr. Henry, we appreciate it. So there was an idea for Gus to be this cartoon character. Like a 2-minute, my big 2-minute cartoon, and it was gonna, you don't have to do drugs or smoke to be cool. That it comes from being you. So don't do drugs, blah blah blah. Thanks, Gus, we appreciate it. Bye bye. So, and Japan actually did some cool cartoon stuff with the character, but it became just me. It was a personality word.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. The thing that's most confusing. Hey, God, folks, this is Mark Scott from Trickster. They go, I thought Gus was the drummer. And I mean, even people let's say Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden, he goes, hey, Gus, how are you? Who's Mark Scott?
Hey, it's something I've wondered all these years, and I've never seen. So I'm glad you cleared that up for me. I've never seen anything written. Though. Well, kind of. It's based on a cartoon, and you were a cartoon character, and you still are.
Yeah, what's funny though?
Cartoon.
You ask about things to plug. The biggest thing that comes to mind as far as making a plug, so to speak, is one thing I'd like to do is spend a little more time with my kids. I don't get to do as much. I'm going back in a couple of weeks. I'm taking my son down to D.C. and we did it about 2 years ago. And what a special time we had down in our nation's capital. Really something beautiful. My daughter just finished her second year of college. This week she's finished, so spending some time with her is great. And my youngest, Lauren, she's done so well. She just a couple of years ago she was having some problems, And I remember her bringing up, she did very bad on a test. She goes, Daddy, you got to sign this for me. And, don't let Mom know. I was like, oh, crap. So I was worried about where she was going. Now she's on high honor roll. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. I'm so blessed and fortunate. And to spend some time with them, that's what I want to plug. The opportunity to spend with them. And I have a son, Christopher, in Florida. And I haven't spent enough time with him. These are some things that I'd like to plug. I want to plug the kids today, so God bless them.
No, I'm right with you on that. I mean, I did a CD a few years ago, and I donated the money to Hasbro Children's Hospital here. It was because my older daughter has Crohn's disease. And
I'm sorry.
She's doing really well, and thankfully for Hasbro, they're great over there. So I did a solo guitar instrumental CD, and I donated the money for that. And, one thing that I put in there is, in the booklet, all the thank yous and all that, and I said the reason I now know why I was born, it is because to have them. That's
awesome.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to be their father.
They're bored. Here they are. We'll see you later, Rich.
Yeah, but you're right. No, spending time with them is, I actually, I enjoy it. I love playing the guitar. I love playing with my band and all that stuff. But to do stuff with them is where it's at. So I know.
What's really cool? My son, he plays guitar, and every time he comes, he goes, "Come on, Dad, let's jam." Yeah. It's like the coolest thing. And he's good. He's good. Yeah. He can really play. He loves AC/DC. So, and one of my favorite as well.
Yep.
So it's funny, it's just so weird. I have a PA system set up with the drums, and we plug in, we mic them up, and it's just loud as hell, and he loves to rip. And it's like, oh my God, I made this kid.
Proud daddy.
But it really is a very unique kind of thing for people that don't have it. It is something so amazing. Yep. And particularly when they're good,
Yeah. I've been lucky. My two are no problems at all. So I'm happy with that. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I promise you, I will buy that Christmas CD or whatever the song you're gonna do.
Send your promotional copy.
No, I will buy. If it's going to a charity, I'll buy it. Just let you know.
Keep an eye on Facebook. My Facebook pages. I'm gonna probably put something out there as a teaser.
Yep.
And announce the charity I'll be doing it for. But realistically, looking around, most likely Thanksgiving to be the release, Black Friday.
And then Google in September.
Yes, Google, the new Google phone in September with the Monkey King app preloaded with the proprietary technology of virtual reality. So please take a look, and that's wild. I mean, there are some great expectations for Google to come up with the best phone on the market.
Nice.
And we can't tell you how proud we are to be aligned with them. Pretty wild stuff.
Awesome. And I will definitely hit you up for NAMM.
Rich?
Yeah.
I'll buy the first round.
I'll hit you up. I'm gonna get out there. I don't care if I have to leave 2 weeks earlier and take a train. I'm getting out there.
All kidding aside, what great times we have there, such memorable times. As far as if you really do have aspirations or you want to promote a product or something like that, like the podcast, what a place to do it. And some great people. And, oh, man, I remember I once was hired as a freelancer, like a guest correspondent. Gus Does NAMM. I did it for a magazine. And everybody's just right there. Yeah. You can't lose. What a great time. We'll have a great time.
Well, I've been doing some work with Line 6, and one of their guys, great guy, I actually had him on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and he's going to set me up with the passes and let me go to their after hours party and all that. Well, he was telling me, he's the one that said, if you really want to see people, he said, stay at the Hilton or the Marriott, right at the convention center. He's like, I can't even tell you how many rock gods that I've walking back and forth in there. So
I think it goes around 5 p.m. You get to either one of those hotels at 5 minutes after, it's a mob scene, mob. It's complete chaos, really wild stuff.
Well, I thank you so much for your time. And
Rich, the pleasure is mine. God bless you,
we'll have to do this again. That was fun.
You let me know. You know what? I'll try to grab Pete's ass and get him on here.
Get all four of them. I'm always looking for guests.
Hey, Rich, how you doing?
Well, Pete and I can talk. I concentrate on obviously rock and roll music and stuff, but I concentrate on guitars and gear, so it'll be right up Pete's alley.
Oh, cool. One thing you mentioned you mentioned NAMM earlier. I really don't know whether he has that or not. He has so many amps.
Yeah. Well,
and a lot of boutique manufacturers send him stuff to check out. So, and honestly, the names, I don't know.
Yeah,
I really don't.
the Kemper is actually the amp that clones all other amps.
I believe you.
So and he
Yeah,
he
that's
was
a new
all
thing now too. He showed me they're downloading stuff online that has these preset stuff. Oh, you
yeah.
want a certain amp? Oh, we got a Marshall. We got
That's
this, we
probably
got
what it
that.
is. That's the Kemper.
Yeah. So
That's,
that is so not my world. I
yeah.
am completely clueless.
So
You
we'll
know,
have something to talk
it's with a
about.
stick, and that's all I know.
That's cool. I actually started out on drums when I
Oh,
was
I'm
younger.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I actually took lessons. I did all that. Then I discovered Van Halen, and I was like, "The hell with these drums." And I taught myself guitar, and that's where I am today. I could probably still play a beat, but that's about it.
You're so. I'll send you a copy of my home instructional video.
I'll do it. I've been meaning. I've been wanting to buy. I record in this room every time I do music, and I've been wanting to get some kind of like electronic kit to MIDI into my system here, and to actually, instead of programming drums, to actually try to play. You know, to get that going again. But you know, then again, the kids come in. There's no time. So. But cool. All right, I'll let you go, and I'll get you all the
I can't tell
info.
how much I appreciate it. Thanks so much, brother, and let's keep in touch for sure.
Definitely. Bye.